Hi guys! No fear, I don't going to explode, it's just my LiPo is ready to go out. Here's Mark from the Sega 68 in France, and this video is for Kim. Kim asked me to make the quick review I made in French and German, also in English for him. So hi Kim, here I am. The Kyosho MP9E Evo is an RTR car from Kyosho based on an old platform which is 50 years old. It's clearly better than the Inferno VE3 that is also an old RC car, just with other colors. Clearly it has here the same electronics in, and the electronics way better than the Orion motor and ESC back in the time always break down. This is an hobby ring combo with the Max 10 ESC and a 40-68mm motor, 2100 kV. It's the same setup than in the Kyosho Fox, and it's really a good setup because it's powerful enough, not too much but enough, and has a real good runtime because the motor not needs too much power. I'm happy with the plastics on this kit. It's not a kit on this RTR. You have the choice between soft, medium and hard parts. That's okay. I'm happy with the shocks. The point where I'm not happy, I forget something. Oh, I'm happy. Kyosho make a good job on the look from the car. It looks really great. The body is cool. The color are cool. I love this rare ring. And the good idea from them to put some sticker on the wheels. They just not put some sticker on the wheels. The sticker are really good and tough, and they make wheels with a little here plastic part, so we don't gonna always destroy your sticker. That's the good point. The dynamic from the car is also a good point. He handles great. Strange is that the weight is in the back from the car, most brushless, because of the high power has the weight in the front, because we have enough power to keep the front up. But the good point to have the weight in the front is that you keep the front axle on the ground when you keep the gas, so you can have a smooth center diff and still have full advantage from the four-wheel drive. Here we have the weight in the rear. That means always in the air you have to brake a little bit to put nose down to land good. And when you brake you lose time because you brake the car. And that's why the most of the new car has the weight in the front. But it's also cool to still have cars with weight in the rear, because if all do weight in the front, it will be boring. And each driver drives different his car. Each driver has different setup in the oil, in the shocks, and in the weight balance. So what I'm not happy with is the price from this truck, from this buggy. You have no fear, it's another motor, because I get just only the chassis, but it's still 1050 kV motor, because I want to do the test with something like the Orion setup, but I have the Orion ESC in. I can use my Fox electronic, but I don't at this point want to put my electronic out from this truck to put in this one, just for a few tests. However, this is the same performance and we have the same issue. The worst point on this truck is the price. From the RTR here in Europe we pay 580 euros for a 4S buggy. We have tiny shock towers for bends. They are tough, they're really tough, but you can bend it. Also the front here, top plate bend. I even bent the chassis, but that's not something that's gonna happen to you really fast. I go from one jump to the other and land in the middle of the chassis on the jump ramps. The ramps are not really hard, but that bend the chassis in the middle. Not big stuff, you can really easy bend it back. And this car will go to a little kid for fun in 2 or 3S, so I'm not worried about it. the rear from the front CVT and rear CVT and dog bones is okay, also the rear center, but the bad point is the front here, who really wears really fast because it's short. You have no flex on the dog bone, so you have really many effort on the output drives, and you have a big angle because they put a big differential in the middle. So you have a big angle, and this big angle make this stuff really wear fast. For €100 less, you can get the Hobao Hyper VSE 6S. You can get the Team Magic BE8 ER 6S, and for 480, it makes for 50-70 bucks less. You can have the Armor Typhoon 6S, and all from this tree buggy are way tougher than this one. Handles even so great and have no wear issue, especially Team Magic and Hobao. So that's the point where I'm not happy with this. Kyosho used the name Kyosho to sell this really too high price for this quality. For this price I want to have a real downgraded MP9 competition version. So I want to have better shock towers and a better chassis. The rest is okay. But just please, Kyosho, make a better chassis and better shock tower. Use better aluminium for this price, or sink the price. But they're not gonna sink the price, because for a less price you can get the Inferno VE3. The other stuff was crazy, and this Evo version and Inferno VE3 is that they go back to this old Phillips screw you have on the whole car. This Phillips screw, not the hex drive screw. It's not a big deal, but the fact is, you have not everywhere the screws. You have at some points hex screws, at some points Phillips screws, and yes, this is a little bit boring. So, how I say, the car handles great, has great runtime. I have no heat issue or nothing with the truck, but I drive it with a small 12-tooth pinion gear because I drive it only in a small area. That's why I made it. A good point from this truck is the rear chassis brace, and this is something where Team Corrali can take a look on, because they are just one poor chassis brace who is tougher than the whole 3 chassis brace they put on the Corrali version from the truck version. The main difference between Inferno VE3 and MP9E Evo is that on this car you can use all options from the real competition version from Kyosho. But I think this is really strange, because you buy the kit or the RTR version here, €580, and then if you will upgrade it to the competition version, it will be way more money. So better immediately take the competition version from the MP9 and put your own electronic in. This car will be okay for a beginner on a track to discover the RC world in 4S, but how I say, for €100 less, that more than €100 less, you have to imagine the Team Magic make a 4S version from the BE8 ER you can get for €320. That means 480, 320, €260 less money for have better performance and a tougher car than that one, with also awesome track feeling, not track, the road you use with your car. I can only really, if you are interested by this Kyosho car, I can only tell you guys, if you can get one, take the BE8 ER version from Team Magic. It's way better for the money. You not will be disappointed. You have also, as you have with this car, many setup to choose, to change, to discover for using on your track the best way you can. even on the Team Magic BR 8 you had something way better on the rear suspension. You have you can adjust the camber with a counter screw, and this is really super nice. So to come back to the conclusion for me, it looks great, it handles great, but it's way too high in price for what you get here on the alloy. I'm okay with the fact that it's only a 4S buggy because it's designed for a track. When many of us prefer 6S buggy, but we drive wild out from the track, it's clear that it's 6S, this car will not survive the treatment. You will destroy it. But 4S is really way enough. The other thing I can understand, if you're a Kyosho freak, if you love the look this buggy looks like, I can just understand why you buy it. You don't will be disappointed if you not drive it too hard, but even on a track you can bend your shock tower, even on a track you can bend your chassis, and this is a little bit boring. If you have one, tell me what is your experience with this buggy, if you are happy with, if never, at no moment something happened to you, but don't forget to tell us how you drive your buggy. Don't tell me you give him hell, it's a super tough buggy, because I have tested. I don't give him hell, but I have some distortion in my alloy part. I break an arm. This is clearly was my fault. It was also clearly my fault that I bent the front shock tower or the chassis, but there's something the point where I want to go is that for 200 euro less you have other cars with the same performance who can take these hits this car have not take. I even bent 2 shock caps in the front. That's something that I never seen before on an RC, on a buggy, even if I drive on the top on the road. What happens by Hobao, because you have here some plastic parts, is that you break the plastic part, but it's not an issue, you can change it really fast. That's why I prefer to have, that's why I love my Hobao shocks. And what other to tell about the truck? Nothing. Clear. Where is it? I don't know where I put the radio system from Kyosho is also pretty cool, because you can of course you can trim the car gas and direction. You can have a dual rate from the steering. You can from the steering have an end point left and right, and you can have an end point and a dual rate from the throttle, and that is also really cool, because sometimes on small track it's really cool to can just a little bit go down with the full throttle. It's also super cool to give it on a beginner, because you just have to put your dual rate or your gas end point to 20 or 30%, and every kid can drive this car safe without any issue. It's clear if you go on a wall even with 20 or 30 kilometers an hour, it will happen nothing, even if he missed the jumps or so. I really hope that Kyosho will do two things: or put the price down from this buggy, or give us a second version for the same price. Will be okay if we will have the 2 shock towers and the chassis from the competition version. That's what I want for that price. Bye guys, see you soon. Don't forget, there are no brand I not like. I like every RC car, even Toys RC, if someone has fun with. What I not like is car where no one can have fun with, or RC cars, they are promised too much and disappoint the guy who buy this RC. And that's all. Bye guys, have fun with your RC. Bye Q.